Meeting people at a time and pace when they want to and not have everybody there, just there waiting for them. I think give them a little environment, give them a little space, run through rules with them, but very gently, just with a guide.
I think first and foremost what's important is to find out what they're being called. They're not numbers, they're names, and a lot of them like to be known as nicknames, and a lot of people shorten names when young people don't like it. And I think finding out what they like to eat, so you offer them a cup of tea and what would you like for tea? Do you like us to go out and shop things? Always make the room look welcoming, get somebody to welcome, show them round, invite them to bring family members with them or other carers to give them a hand settling in. Usually just a little gift outside of the bed just to make them feel welcome.
Obviously we've got like a welcome pack, which is a young person's guide, which tells them all the things about the home and things that they can do and can't do and things that they'll be allowed to do. Obviously they get a welcome pack as toiletries. They get a nice room provided with furniture in. Eventually they can obviously buy their own duvets, but we will provide them with all the bedding to start with.
You wouldn't just give them a bedroom, white walls, you'd give them the allowance to develop, create their own identity. And then it's just general chit-chats, maybe take them out for a meal the first day they get there.
Sometimes they come under stress, so it's not always a good thing to be bombarding them with things, but generally you're just trying to make them at ease.
We try and run it as a family home. We try and keep it just as their own home setting should be. They have boundaries that they stick to, but so does every other child.
And just being honest with them and making sure that they feel if they've got any questions they can ask us. And I think when children first come to the unit, asking them all the time if everything's okay, and asking them if there's anything, if they need to phone anyone or anything like that.
And what we're there to do ultimately, and it's to make the youngsters feel as though they're part of the community that they live in, which again is something that a lot of the kids in care don't do. They feel as though they're kind of detached from society. So it's settling in, doing as you would do at home with your own kids, trying to normalise things as best as you can and build relationships from the offset.
It means having a nice, comfortable home where a young person feels cared for, where they feel like they're safe, where they've got a voice and where they're listened to. And I think having a bowl of fruit, setting table, having family meals, you'll never ever get any better therapy than that. A family environment and letting young people have a childhood. We've had children that's come to us that's never had a childhood. That's the best therapy any child will ever receive is a childhood. Give them that back.
Family and friends is very, very important, and it's something wherever possible we do promote contact with family. If possible, we invite them to the homes. We'll pick up the family members and fetch them if we can. They're very much involved in attending our meetings, like reviews. Same with friends. We'll pick them up if it's after school and we'll drop them back. They're invited for tea.
Obviously, there's some circumstances that we can't be promoting contact, but ideally we'd be wanting to promote contact with kind of friends, family. Again, normalise things as much as we can. Not try to exclude youngsters, but make them feel as though, you know, they are part of their family, strengthening relationships where we can, strengthening relationships within community. So definitely that's what we're there to do.
At the end of the day, no matter what the family's like, it's the family. And it's we do see it as being important. We try and break all barriers down.
I think it's scary enough coming into care without a set of strangers saying, no, you're not seeing this, because I think they lose so much control anyway.
Can you imagine it yourself if you were taken out from bosom of your family and away from your friends and just stuck somewhere where you didn't know anybody?
Making sure the family know I'm not there in place of them. I'm there to help them care for their young people, their children. And I think that is really important.
I think in my experience working with kids in care, things are not really explained well enough to them. So they won't understand why they've come into care because it's not been explained at a level that they understand. That leads to confusion, that leads to agitation, and that leads to youngster, obviously, behavioural, it manifests itself in their behaviour because ultimately they're confused and they don't understand why their parents can't care for them, why they can't remain at home. So it can be difficult, and I think the way that we can try to get the youngster to understand the circumstances is ultimately building a relationship that's based on trust, and that takes a long time. It's not going to happen overnight, so we have to be patient understand that the youngsters throughout this journey, you know, there's going to be difficulties.
You can't expect people to form relationships overnight, so it's a long slog sometimes, and some young people obviously want to live with a family, but it's not appropriate, so we just do the best that we can for them, and consultation with them builds the best care package. And when you're consistent and you show that you're going to turn up even when they're swearing at you and there's challenging behaviours, then they respond to you and relationships are formed.